Hey, what is up, guys? And welcome back to another Magic the Gathering online league. We're back with Eldrazi Ramp on the play for game one. Opponent will consent to 6. Forest, Sprawl for green, and pass, and pass. Breeding Pool Shock. Or Breeding Pool Shock Tameo. Okay. Tameo Breeding Pool. First thought is Cutter. What do you find off top here? K return. We can't sweep the Tameo. Let's start with Talisman then. Verdant Cat and pass. On end step, we can fetch Surveil instead of for Ice till next turn. Yeah, have plenty of good top decks off top. Second main. What are you thinking here, opponent? Scouting Tarn. Fetch 17. So, Steam Shock. Definitely feeling like Cutter. Mox Amber. Could also be Song of Creation, maybe? Draw a card. Preordain. Boomerang Basics. Looking more and more like Song of Creation combo, yeah. Okay. Excuse me. So we do need a solution here, lest we end up losing to Song of Creation. Breaker's not bad for the following turn. We'll draw. So we are going to start with Ice Till. We're going to mill. Another breaker. We're going to fetch. And I am going to Stomping Ground tapped and mill. I'm actually going to Bajuka Bug here because Tameo can pick up Boomerang Basics, and I don't exactly want that. So let's do that. 3 types in yard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What say you, opponent? Rumble. There is, in fact, Song of Creation, so I was right with my assumptions. Which does not bode well for me in game one, unfortunately. They do pick up Song of Creation. No shocker or surprises there. They are one short of the song. And next turn we can World Breaker it. Tameo will plus. We'll draw. Devour. Interesting. We can get rid of the Tameo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So my thought process here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I want to get rid of the spawn. I want to get rid of Tameo. So let's start with Lab and Mill. Imprint the Breaker. Temple and Mill. Ghost Quarter would have been useful earlier. We're going to start with Breaker. Leave back the K return. Actually, no, we start with the K return. Okay, return the spawn out. And then we will devour the Tamiyo. Tamiyo down, which takes out the Mox Amber's mana. Note the Decay return. We'll go to combat, swing at them for 1. And we pass. Next turn we can Ghost Quarter Loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can Breaker. Bobble. Opal's online. Opal. So that's Song of Creation online. Opal draws 2. Blue, Boomerang Basics. Repeal, same idea. Draws 2. Opal, draws 2. Can they win from this position? That is the question, and I don't have the answer. There's Tammy, which turns on Mox Amber. Misty Rain, so then now we're at 2 mana. Forest, Bobble, draws 2. Yeah, I'm starting to get a bit of a feeling here that it's about over 6. So now they can use lands to pick up Opal for Retrace. Yeah, so as long as they have lands, they should be able to make this work and just Retrace ad naz. Well, how unfortunate is that? Well, I'd like to see the remainder of their deck, I suppose. Just to see what their winning condition is. If it's Jace or if it's... not Tameshi. Dishana's... Thassa's Oracle, there we go. So I'd like to see which one it is at this point. Just to get a good idea of how we can attack. Because, yeah. I'd say, oh, Grape Shot. Interesting. So, it's Song Storm. They might still have the backup plan of Jace, but looks like Storm into Grape Shot is another option. Okay. Good to know. So, K-Return's definitely out. Gemstone out. Trinisphere in. Bauble in. I'm thinking Jailer in. But Jukabog actually might not be horribly good here just because... I should debate what Jukabog is worth it or not. It's one of those questions, the same with Titan, where it might just be a turn too slow, is my thought process. I have no idea as far as Song Creation's mana base is concerned, so I'm not sure if Ghost Quarter is actually effective at shutting them out. Thinking 6 is out at the very least. My questions now come down to Heat, Flute, and Dismember. I'm gonna run it back like this for now. My thoughts behind Heat is that it doesn't clear Tamiyo when it's a creature, unless I have Delirium, so I'd want Dismember, but that might not be good enough. That hand's unfortunate. We're gonna mulligan. This hand's workable, though. I will keep Pitch a Myco. Misty Rainforest pass. Bobble. Mob will target self, so they have a fetch in hand. Scouting Tarn. They do not want to shuffle it away until after they draw. We'll Misty Fetch. Surveil. Rumble Top. They'll draw rather. We'll draw. Temple into Rumble. Grab Sire 7 Death. And hold on the off chance it's relevant. Scouting Tarn fetch Surveil, I'd imagine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can Rumble and Trinisphere next turn. Draw. Amber. Stomping. Down to 17. Emery. Mills. Amber, Woodland, Boomerang Basics for Types in Yard. A little bit concerned that they could have counter, or rather consigned memory. So you might want to go with Bauble and Myco Spawn. Well, I guess we can. Okay, so I have an idea here. Let's go Ugin Lab Imprint. And we're going to start with Bauble. Does Bauble resolve? It resolves. So in that case, I'm going to then Rumble. I'll grab a land. And Trinisphere and pass. And pass. Next turn we can kick. This suggests they do not have a consign in hand, is what I was trying to tease out. So we can kick the Shifting Wood and then empty their yard. Does Emery attack? Emery does attack. Okay. We'll draw. We have a Shifting Woodland of our own. Nothing that we want, though. But I think we still want to play the Shifting before the Forest. Myco Spawn will attack the Shifting Woodland or the Thundering Falls. Because they need for song... What is it? Red, green, blue? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I'd want to grab a temple so I can play Sire next turn. I guess they have double blue because of Emery. Double blue, double red. I guess I'm still tempted to take out either Shifting or Stomping then. Because I guess with the Stomping, at least it gets rid of double green. Let's go Thundering Falls. For mana. Repeal. That will resolve. But Bauble's still on board. In that case, I'm even more inclined now to Bajuka Bog them. Yes. So that way Shifting Wood is offline, and this Bauble's still on board. Saga trigger. Okay. The Song of Creation, yes. Opal will get countered. They're still going to draw cards, though, but they can't generate mana, which is the biggest thing. There's Breeding Pool. Boomerang Basics the Bauble. Shit. Yeah, that's a problem. I wonder if Boomerang Basics did push this deck into the meta. At this point, we pass in full and pray. Not much else we can do. There's Tamiyo. Did you fizzle out? I'm doubtful, but looks like they did, surprisingly. Opponent discards their hand. We'll draw. Talisman. So they do play Consign. Looks like they have 6. Emery can pick up the Haywire Mite, which is a problem. Shifting Woodland doesn't hit anything in my yard right now. So realistically speaking, let's start with Talisman. Bauble. Forest and Trinisphere. Because both Bauble and Trinisphere are kind of a pain for you in the grand scheme. We'll attack for 3. Down to 12. Bauble will target me, so they can draw an extra card. Bauble draw. Saga trigger. Emery target Mite. So Mite can get rid of Bauble or Trinisphere, but not both. Mite. Song. Draw 2. Tamiyo flips. Mite targeting Trinisphere. Trinisphere is down. Put into exile. Bauble trigger. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I guess at this point, yeah, we're just going to pass in full and see what they got. We don't need to return the Sire to hand until after we draw. Another Tamiyo. Means I can't attack through is the only problem. Though actually they have forgotten to take up the Tamiyo. Misty Rain fetched down to 13. Steam Vent Shock down to 11. Island. Forgot Song of Creation lets you play an additional land for turn. Storm Count 3. Grape Shot. Taking out the Myco. Interesting. We'll yield all. So I take out the Myco there. Tamiyo pluses. End step. Song pitches the hand. Endurance, Consign. In that case... Oh, they didn't kill the Myco spawn. Curious. I wonder why that was. Yep, so we'll draw. K command. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can dig 7 deep. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What would we want to hit is the question, and that I don't have the answer for. Because unfortunately we can't Emrakul at that point, because we could hit Ugin, Devourer, yes. Other Trinosphere. X equals 7. Rampant Scry Draw. At the same time, I do wonder if in reality what I should do is try and empty their yard. That is actually a fascinating thought. In which case, how would we manage to do so here if Bajukabog already on field? We wouldn't. We could hit 7 cards in yard. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is a thought. I'm not sure if I care about the Tamiyo right now in the grand scheme. This is kind of awkward. I'm going to scry draw exile cards in yard. Let's start there. I'm going to start with Bauble. Probably Malevolent Rumble. Actually, the Boomerang basics are also an issue, aren't they? 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't care about 6, I don't think. 5, 6, 7. But there's 8 cards that I want to hit. Maybe we ignore the Mishra's Bauble. Hit all the mana producing stuff. And let's do that. Though, do I care to scry draw? No, let's exile. Exile Tamiyo. I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We don't know if Grape Shot's their only win con is my only concern here. I guess we hit the Tamiyo. We definitely need to hit the Boomerang basic, because that can take out the Bauble. I think we need to hit at least the Rumbles, maybe the Opal. Yeah, so I guess the question is, do we hit Grape Shot? So the Boomerang basics have to go. I guess we can ignore the Rumbles then, because if there's one, we can ignore the other. So in that case, let's go after the Baubles, because this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe take out the 6 then. Let's do that. I don't think it's worth holding the K command, unfortunately. Let's do this. Exile, exile. So we take out the Grape Shot. We take out the Tamiyo. We take out their way of getting rid of Bauble. Tamiyo will trigger. They'll still take 2 down to 2. So now they can't return a card. It's basically Rumble. The question now becomes whether or not they have a secondary win con, and that is a question I actually don't have an answer to. We've only seen their, whatchamacallit, their Grape Shot. We haven't seen if they also play Jace. And if they play Jace, then there's no point in trying to mill them out. There's another Emery. Another 6. Well, an attempt was made. Repeal, Rumble, repeal. So now they can repeal the Bauble. But do they have another win condition is the question, and that I don't have an answer to. Because we haven't seen another win condition. There's Otawara. and there's the Jace. So unfortunately, it quite literally wouldn't have mattered, as Jace was the very last card. But because it was the last card, they decked themselves the song. Okay, that's pretty damn funny. All right. Like that's the only situation where them decking themselves would have been feasible, with Jace being the very last card because the song draws two. That's fantastic. Okay. So they do play Jace. What a awkward matchup this is. Like, Bojuka Bog's not bad. They play Endurance. I mean, the Emrakul is not a bad idea. We can deck themselves their own deck. I'm starting to think that going for the Ice Tail loops might not be worth it. And instead, maybe bring in Flute and Jailer. Jailer stops the graveyard recursion. And Flute can name Tamio, Emery, Jace just attacks, maybe? Creature cards. Players can't cast spells from graveyards or libraries. Cage also stops them from replaying cards at a yard. The other option's Heat. Because Heat can hit Jace. Heat can hit Tamio after flip. So Heat also might be worth investigating here. I just don't know this matchup well enough, to be honest. There's also Fade, but I don't think Fade makes much sense. Yeah, let's run back like this. Looks too slow and no way to dig for answers. We mulligan. We can make this work. Ditch the Ugin, reveal 2, and pass. Looking for Bauble, looking for Trinosphere. They'll surveil. Song TR tells me they have a song in hand. Yield all. There's K command. I'll take... Actually, do I care about the K command? I think I'll take the Sprawl over the K command. Take the Sprawl. Yeah, we'll take the Sprawl. Draw, Forest, Sprawl, Red, since we no longer have double green. We'll pass. And pass. Surveil. Need to keep in mind they do have Consign in the deck. We'll draw. Windswept Heath. Let's start with a Rumble. There's Sanctum, there's Bauble. We already hit our Commercial District. We're gonna grab Bauble. I will play... Thinking Eldrazi Temple? No, they likely play a Besage Youth. I'm not sure if I noticed it or not. Thinking Windswept Heath fetch for a forest. We could Talisman here, but I don't think there's a reason to. So we're just going to go Bauble and see if you have a Consign. And there is the Consign. So I was worried about that. We'll pass. Now we need another answer off top. A Shifting Woodland actually would work here. Saga Trigger. 3. Emery Mill. We'll draw. Sprawl. Breakers in Yard. Temple. Talisman. Sprawl stack. for green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we could go for Breaker next turn, but we might not have a next turn, unfortunately. Saga trigger. Actually, no, we can't Breaker next turn because we'd have to sacrifice the spawns. We'd only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It'd be short 1. Shifting Wood, which means they can Shifting Wood the Song of Creation. Yes, they can Shifting Wood Song. That looks like they might have one in hand like I thought they did. Yes. I mean, we're going to pass in full. Show me what we got. Yeah, this deck definitely feels like if it gets to turn 4, they just win. And they can accelerate before turn 4, too. Between Bauble and Opal. Huh. Well, I don't see this deck often. I'm starting to think this might be something that would be good to put on one's radar. They have Opal up, but not enough artifacts to tap for it. Second main. So we can exile the Song of Creation, but the next issue is they can just Shifting Woodland for the Song in Yard. Issues, oh issues. Really what I need is a way to either get a Bauble, Endurance. Target me or target you? I'd imagine me. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Target me. There's Bauble. Because, yeah, they play both Grape Shot and Jace. I mean, this is just very reminiscent of Grinding Breach. 6 working basically as Yawgmoth will, in essence. Honestly, I think this might be refined enough to where this could have the same potency as Grinding Breach, which is a bit scary to think about. Because it does feel like it can just win out of nowhere regardless of the interaction you have between Repeal as well as Boomerang basics. So I'm starting to wonder if this deck is underrepresented in the meta. And that is a concerning thought. I think I'm gonna recommend we put a pin in Song of Creation and keep an eye on it. Because I am becoming a little bit concerned. Because they can definitely fizzle out. We've seen them do so. But once they get going, on pretty much turn 3, turn 4, they win. Then, yep, here's 6. So now 6, like I said, basically acts as a Yawgmoth will. And so now they just go infinite. So 6 basically takes place of Underworld Breach for all intent and purpose. Interesting. There's no way we win here. I'd be shocked if, I mean, even if the last 2 cards in their deck were Jason Grapeshot, I don't think that would matter. Because it would have to be exactly the last 2, and even then we would lose as a result. Yeah, I mean, this is something that I've talked about before, and I'll reiterate again. It's very likely that the real ban of Grinding Breach probably was not... Like, Underworld Breach needed to go. Let's be clear about that. Underworld Breach needed to go. However, I think the real fender here might be the Mox Opal. And we see that in Affinity as well, as it has pushed things far beyond the pale. And has brought Affinity to Legacy level. Power level, rather. And with the addition of Boomerang Basics in this deck, Song Creation, which previously was not really a tiered deck, I think the Boomerang Basics acting as repeals number 5 through 8 may very well have pushed this deck across the edge. And so, while it hasn't put up results, it's something that I'm going to recommend that we keep an eye out for, because it's starting to read very similar to Grinding Breach, and that is concerning. Because again, no matter how much interaction I have on board, whether it be Trinisphere or Bauble, it feels like they can fight through it pretty easily. Interesting. Well, on that note, we'll be back for match number 2. Alright, and we're back for match 2 on the play for game 1. I will keep what say you, opponent? Opponent Morgan's down to 6. And Wooded Foothell fetch. For a forest. Sprawl. For green. And pass. And pass. Flooded Strand, fetch 19. Sacred Foundry, shock, looking like energy. No, yeah, energy. Yep. There's a rag. We'll draw. Ice Still. I was just thinking about picking up Ice Still for Formidable Speaker, but now I don't have to. Formidable Speaker. Let's pitch Gemstone. And instead, I'm going to grab... Let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 mana next turn that stands. But I'm half tempted to grab, let's say, Sire 7 Death, because next turn we can ramp up to... I guess 4 or 5 would be too short of Sire. Because my first thought here is Sire 7 Death. But it might be more reasonable to go Myco Spawn. Let's go Myco. And pass. And pass. They attack the rag, we're blocking, regardless if they think they have the discharge. Marshflat's fetch, 16. Plains. The Static Prison, Guide of Souls. And Ocelot Pride. Okay. So Pride will trigger on end step. Triggering Guide. Up to 2 energy. I would love to see a K return off top. Another Myco. So in that case, I'm thinking we will tap, untap, Ice Still, mill. I'd love to see a K return. I will fetch for a forest, mill. And then we will fetch, mill. And at this point, I will hold. Yeah, finding a K return off top would be fantastic, so we could sweep the board with the World Breaker next turn. Flood Strand, fetch 17. Regardless, the Breaker next turn will still be good, as we can then block their flyers. Surveil. Ragavan Tiard. 2 white. Voice. Voice will resolve. Triggering the guide so they can float something. I imagine the Ragavan. What do you want to float here, opponent? Yep, there's the Ragavan. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So they're going to have City's Blessing. Ragavan will float. We'll take 4 down to 14. Ragavan will connect. And Ragavan will pilfer. Sire's 7 Death. That would have been nice as well. End step. Trigger. Guide trigger. Fetch. Surveil. Devour to Yard and Windswept Teeth to Yard. We'll draw. Temple. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We don't... Do we have one more fetch? We have one more fetch, correct? We have a forest. Yes, we do. So let's go Windswept Teeth, fetch, down to 12. Forest, mill, yield all. There's Ugin. In that case, I think I'm going to play the Temple from hand and mill. K command 6. Trying to think here now. We could go Breaker and break a land. We have currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana. 9 minus 4 would be 5. Not enough for the Breaker, but it would allow us, for all intent and purpose, to keep the Shifting Woodland up, I suppose. But that's a pretty high risk, and I'm not exactly thinking that would be wise. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 minus 2. We could go Myco and Breaker is fine. So we're going to go Myco to start. Yield all. For Temple and Mill. Sprawl. Not a good hit, unfortunately. We're going to untap and cast Breaker. So at least now we can block the flyers. We'll hit the Elegant Parlor. No attacks. We have 3 blockers, 12 life to work with, and another Mycospawn on deck. Yeah, that meaning that Sire is actually pretty significant. I'd have rather preferred to play the Sire over the Breaker here. Arid Mesa, 2 in hand. Fetch down the 19. Three, Ranger Captain of Eos. You grab another Gyda-Souls? Actually, I guess you would be able to float 2 if you did. Again, mind you, we do have the Breaker. Pride. Pride's not bad either. Sneaky Reach? Methinks Sneaky Reach is here. Unless they float the voice. They float the voice, that's fine. I'll block the Rag. I'll block you and you. Done. Methinks opponent forgot about Sneaky Reach. So down to 9. And there's the Pride. Trigger the Guide. Red. Ragavan. Ah, I see. Okay. Pride triggers. They're going to make a lot of cats. And on upkeep, they can Ranger Captain. So that way I can't K return. That would be unfortunate. Draw. They chose not to Ranger Captain. Interesting. Let's start with Gemstone and Mill. Temple. Temple and Mill. There's another Ugin. Well then, that does make it complicated. Can they just Alpha Strike next turn and win? If not, they're getting pretty close. I mean, the tokens alone represent 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, if we're just counting the 1/1s. Yeah, that's a bit of a problem. We do have a Devour that we can Shifting Wood. Let's start with Mycospawn. I don't think we need to kick here. I think we need to... You need at least 5 mana for shifting. So we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Leaving back 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Leaving back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 8 minus 4 would be 4. So we can't go Myco kick. So yeah, I think we're just going to go Myco non-kicked. Yield all. Temple. Mill. Impulse. Finding all the wrong cards, aren't we? So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Leaving back 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess we can kick once. Yes. Because that will leave back 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, we can kick once. Myco kick. Hit Elegant Parlor. And it's going to come down to this now. We'll go Sanctum of Ugin. Double greens. We're good there. Sanctum Mill. I need a... There's the K return, but we're late on it. Jesus. That might not be enough. We have how many blockers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blockers total? Yeesh. Alright. I'm pretty sure we're dead, but we'll do the math once they attack. Yeah, that K return was just very late to the party. Again, the Ragavan also pilfering a freaking Sire off top is backbreaking. If we had that Sire around this breaker, this game would be much different. They don't know what the last card in hand is. And they attack in response. I guess we'll wait for the mobilize and guide triggers. So do your thing. Mobilize and guide. Up to 32. What do you float? Imagine you float the Pride. Or the Rog? No, you double stack on the Voice. That actually might be a mistake. Well, then Shifting Wood, target Devour. And see if they messed up. Go to blocks. So we'll block the flyer. And then we block our biggest targets first. So you, and then you, and then all the 1/1s. We also want to make sure we block the Ocelot Pride. Nope, we're dead. Yeah, that's the kind of best we can do, unfortunately. And dead. Oh no, I think they're one short. Hold on. They're one short. I was like, wait 1 second. Is that 8? Up to 34. Opponent just needed attacking with the other Ocelot Pride or Guide of Souls, and that would have made all the difference. Okay, there's a chance, friends. We have the K return primed now. We just need to find a 7-minute value spell. We'll draw. Alright, that's not it, which means now our only hope is to find the... whatchamacallit? Find Worldbreaker. And no, the voice tokens do get sacked because of the Ocelot Prides, though. The Ocelot Prides will copy them based on how they stack the triggers. So I'd rather get rid of the elementals to give them fewer tokens in the grand scheme. So, alright. Well, this still sucks. We need to find Breaker. We need to find our second Breaker off the mills here. So we're going to go Uggin's Lab. We're going to mill. Yield all. Second K return. You got to be joking me. Uggin's Lab. Mill. We need the Breaker off top. Brutal. And I don't think I have a solution at this point in time. And while opponent did give us a turn, unfortunately we could not get there. We'll concede. Of course. Just one short of the Emrakul. So Heat's in. K return stays. Gemstone out. 6 out. And we either go Ghost Quarter or Emrakul. I still haven't really figured out which one I want to do here. I do like the idea of having the Ghost Quarter loops available to me, but the Emrakul is probably the more important piece here, so let's go with the Emrakul. Yeah, unfortunately we just could not find a threat to save our life. Couldn't find the K return, couldn't find the threat. It is what it is, though. Sometimes win some, sometimes lose some, and sometimes numbers play you. Numbers definitely played me there, that's for sure. On the play for game 2, I will keep Verdant Catacomb Pass. Marsh Flats, fetch 19, Sacred Foundry Shock. What are we playing here? Saragavan. In response, we'll fetch Surveil, Talisman to Yard, and pass. We'll draw Sprawl's nice. Lab, Imprint Ugin, cast Formidable Speaker. Casting in for Sprawl's a little bit awkward here, though, so I'm thinking we actually will pitch Sprawl for Mycospawn. Yes, I'd like to ramp into this Ugin if possible. Go Mycospawn and pass. So next turn we can kick Myco. We'll pass. Arid Mesa. So this shows me they have Discharge in hand. We'll block. Show me the Discharge. Yep, that's fine. Arid Mesa fetch 16. Plains and Guide. We'll draw. There's Heat. In that case, I am going to go Stomping Ground tapped and pass. Worst case scenario here is definitely going to be a Blood Moon, though. Maybe that Talisman wouldn't have been a bad keep after all. White. Voice of Victory in response. In response, voice will... that's annoying. I can't get rid of the voice on this turn. I'd need to shock in a Stomping Ground with the MTGO to hit the voice, but I think I should probably do so in the grand scheme. Voice will resolve. Triggering the Guide. And pass, we draw Emrakul. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we are going to kick the MTGO. MTGO kick, hit your red source, so no Charm on next turn. No Blood Moon either. We will grab, again, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We already have landing yards. We're going to go Stomping Ground Shock. And Unholy Heat the voice. And pass. And pass. Ocelot Pride, trigger the Guide. Do you float the Guide? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. One short Emrakul. They do, in fact. So we'll take 3 down to 13. Pride trigger, trigger Guide. And draw. Breaker. Breaker just does change the math a bit then. So we're just going to go Breaker Break, especially as opponent does seem to be short on lands. Breaker Break and pass. No attacks. And pass. Arid Mesa, 18. Sacred Foundry Shock, 17. They won't be attacking this turn. We can K return, sweep the cats. Guide trigger. Pride triggers. We'll draw. Second K return. So in that case, no attacks. We'll pass. Hold the K returns. See if they overextend. A Johnny. Yep. Triggers. Always yield the Guide, yield all. Let's see if you float a cat. You choose not to. We're going to, in response, K return. And Johnny trigger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Still 2 short Ugin. And 1 short Emrakul. We'll draw. There's Rumble. Green, colorless, Rumble. No reason to do that, I don't think. Let's go green, green, Rumble. There's Devour, there's Lab, Sprawl. Sprawl's already in yard, land's already in yard. So I think we might just go Devourer of Destiny here. Though I guess the Lab does get us Emrakul next turn, so yes, we'll do this. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Actually, oh, the Malevolent Rumble counts as additional type. Right. So in that case, Emrakul should close things out, I'd imagine. K return, yield all. And we'll scoop it up. We'll take the win. Alright, let's bring in Gemstone, trim a Rumble, and run it back. Hoping for another strong start like that. Yeah, I got a little bit worried there about the Guide of Souls, leaving that unattended, but I think it may have been correct over the Voice. Just because Voice of Victory is much harder for me to deal with shy of a Delirium, Unholy Heat, or a K return, or K command rather. Hands looking pretty meh. Opponent logging on to 6, I'll join them. I mean, this has some acceleration and does have Cyrus 7 Death. So I'm thinking we go Fetch, Surveil, Talisman, or rather Fetch, Sprawl, Talisman, Fetch, Surveil. I'll keep Pitch the Breaker and hold on to the Sire. We'll pass. It is going to be top deck reliant. We have a number of top decks here, from K Return to Rumble to Mycospawn, Ice Till. Ragavan does put a damper on things though. Sanctum, not exactly what I was looking for. Verdant Catacomb and Sprawl. We'll go for green and pass and pass. Ragavan will connect. Ragavan will pilfer. What does Ragavan pilfer? Finds an Emrakul. That's fine. We're far off of Emrakul. Second main. Marsh Flats fetch 16. 4. Bombardment. Relevant. Could be sent up for a Johnny. We'll draw. K command. We're unfortunately short on color sources, so we're still going to go Wooded Foothill, Talisman, and pass. Next turn, though, we can K command. Ragavan will attack. Ragavan will pilfer. Down to 15. Let this resolve. Eldrazi Temple, that would have been nice. It isn't a Johnny. It is a Flage. Flageoral Helix, Bombardment will target. Yes. Yield all. They did not sack the Flage to Bombardment, which they should have. I'd be at 10. Commercial District Surveil. Ice Till is nice. Though I'm unsure we actually want that next turn. Opponent is pretty far off this Flage. We could go for the Ice Till and ramp. That is actually a consideration here. We could Ice Till and then play 2, I suppose. That would block the Ragavan. Opponent would need to fetch Surveil as well as Bombardment, sack the Ragavan. I mean, they could very well do that. So I'm half tempted here to top the Ice Till, ramp, and exile Flage out of yard. I'd rather just hold the Sanctum. Let's start there. Ice Till top. We'll draw. Play the Sanctum, hold the K command, X equals 3. Let's see if they try and go for the Flage. Paying cost for Charmal. And there's the Charmal. Charmal will enter. Target the Sanctum, I'd imagine. And that's fine if so. Targets this district, interesting. We'll still float. And that will resolve. So I'm thinking I'm going to ramp and exile the Ragavan. Alright, so ramp and exile the Ragavan. This means we could play the Sire next turn, yeah? Yes. Let's go with this. Imagine I sack the Ragavan, target me down to 8. Yes, yield all, or down to 10 rather. Whereas I'm thinking 8 is Stomping Ground, shock if I have to do that. They sack the Charmal to keep me off 7, that's fine. We'll draw. Temple, even better. So, how much mana do I have access to then? 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 9. So, we theoretically could go Ice Till? No. Because Ice Till's a -3. Yes, so we only have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, -3, 6. So we should really only go Sire. Trigger Sanctum. Do we want to go for Sanctum right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think we do, and I think I want to grab a second Sire, honestly. Either that or a Myca Spawn to Bojuka Bog out the Flage, but I think a second Sire should do it. We will hold. And they're currently still 2 cards short of Flage. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 4, 5, 6. So even if they were to have another Charmaw, that would be fine. Yep, they have another Charmaw, so they can hit the Temple. That's okay since we have the Ice Till. We also can attack through the Charmaws and gain back some life. Yep, this is A-okay. We'll draw. Stomping Ground. Let's start by going to combat. And attack with Sire. I don't imagine you block. No blocks, down to 12. So in that case, let us Stomping Ground Shock and Ice Till. Ice Till will pick up the Temple and Mill. And at this point, we're going to pass. And hold. Once the second Sire hits board, it's pretty much GG's. I don't foresee them getting through that. At least not through combat damage. Is this a Blood Moon? Or another Flage? Pyro? Pyro Pitch 2, that's fine. In fact, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, we'd be short 1 for Sire into Myco. You need to mill over another Temple. Alright. Second main, we'll draw. Talisman. Won't Starve Sanctum, so we mill over a Temple. Breaker. Breaker's interesting, but it is in fact not a Temple. So in that case, we will play Sire 7 Death, Trigger Sanctum, 5 in yard, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I'll say yes, and we're going to grab Emrakul. We're going to replay the Sanctum and mill. Speaker will attack with Sire. And I don't foresee you getting through 2 Sire 7 Death. Sure. Methinks you forgot about something important here. And that, friend, is First Strike. Just a bit of importance. Chalk that up to another case of too long didn't read all 7 keywords. First Strike definitely is one of the ones that gets missed quite often on Sire 7 Death, I will say. But we got there. Solid win. We'll be back for match number 3. Alright, we're back for match 3 on the draw for game 1. Hand's pretty good, because we get to go Lab Imprint, Temple Speaker, Pitch Speaker. We have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, we can play a 7-minute value spell on 3. We can play a Myco Spawn on 3 for Breaker as follow-up. There's a lot of good options here. It depends on the matchup, I suppose. We'll see. Marsh Flats. Lab. Actually, we're going to pitch the Lab. We don't need the second Lab. Breaker. Imprint Talisman Pass. Worst case scenario here is this Talisman does not resolve, but it does. Marsh Flats fetch 19 for. Shadowy Backstreet. Okay. Could be Goryo's. That's the first thing that comes to mind. I guess Esper Blink as well. Hollowed Fountain. So looking more like Esper, but again, could be Goryo's. There's some options here. Which does mean they could Prismatic Ending my Talisman. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Overlord of the Bailmerk. Looking more like Esper Blink. Okay. Yep, this is Esper Blink. Sounds good. Overlord of the Bailmerk. So they have the Flicker Wisp next turn for the Overlord, though. So I'm thinking we go Temple. And then we will go Speaker. I'm going to pitch the Lab. We don't need the Lab right now. Lab pitch. In which case, do we want to go Devourer of Destiny? Or do I want to go with another Breaker? because we want to get rid of the Overlord of the Baelmerg after they Flicker Wisp it. So I'm thinking we go... I mean, Breaker's harder for them to deal with. It has reach. Though I like the Breaker hitting lands when possible. So we're going to go Devourer and pass. And pass. The second speaker can pick something else up later that we need. Funny enough, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I guess no, we're short one of being able to play the Breaker next turn regardless. Witch Blast. Show me the Flicker Wisp. There's the Flicker Wisp and targeting the Overlord. Yep. What will you mill with the Overlord? Witch Blessed, and that's all, so I just take the Witch Enchanter. We'll draw. Find another Devourer. So in that case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm trying to think if there's a way for me to keep this lab untapped. I don't think there is, unfortunately. I mean, we still would have had enough mana, I'm pretty sure, if they would have flickered the lab, because we would have been able to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We still would have 7 mana because of Speaker. So realistically speaking, hitting the lab wouldn't have been enough, unless they took the chance that we didn't have the second temple. Now, mind you, I think that probably could have been the right call, but the Overlord still wouldn't have done enough. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now we have to tap the lab, yeah. Alright, so let's do that. Devour the Overlord. So Overlord down. We can attack him with a Speaker as it can't block the Flicker Wisp regardless. And we'll attack for 2. Next turn we have another Devourer. Otherwise we have Breaker on board. Kind of want to play the Breaker next turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, we can play the Breaker next turn from underneath Lab by untapping it after we tap it for 2. And then returning World Breaker to hand. We can then hit their Witch Blast, Solitude, evoking Witch Enchanter, targeting Devourer, and Ephem. So no Breaker next turn. That's fine. It's pretty aggressive, though. Not sure it's the right play in the grand scheme. We'll take 3 down to 24. They do have the rebound. So we need to get rid of the Solitude or the Flicker Wisp, I suppose. We also could just say we don't care about that and go Speaker Pitch Sprawl. Pick up a fresh card. Keep the lab up. That's also an option. No reason to play the Sprawl because it puts it in line of the Flicker Wisp Ephem. So there's no way to avoid tapping the lab, though. I think we do Devour target the Solitude. Devour target the Solitude means the lab will get flickered by Flickerous on the rebound, I imagine. I'll play the Stomping Ground tapped and pass. But that's okay, because we can Speaker, pick up a fresh card. You choose the Ephem Flicker Wisp is the question. Means you get rid of the World Breaker. You choose not to. Interesting. So we're 1 land off of Breaker then. Interesting choice. right now we're winning the race when it comes down to life totals between your Flickerist and my Devourer. Really, I really think they may have wanted to flicker the lab. They could have another Ephem, but why wouldn't they just rebound? We'll draw. Temple. Well, in that case, let's start by attacking. No blocks. Alright, we return World Breaker. I mean, even if you rebound now, because the trigger's on the stack, the breaker will come back. So we are just going to Breaker Break. Breaker Break the Witch Blast and pass. Float white. But no Ephem, Flickerist to save the Witch Blast. And end step. Polluted Delta fetched on the 7. Lethal's on board. So next turn we can speaker. What would you want to even pick up a speaker though is the question. I actually don't know for next turn. I guess we find a land. We could pick up another Devourer. We could pick up a Sire. We have some good choices. We find an untapped land off top. It's a fairy. I mean, if you want to bounce my Eldrazi, be my guest. Sure. That is a-okay by me, friendo. No attacks. We'll draw. Talisman. So, let's see then. Let's start with Devour. Target Flicker Wisp. We don't care about Teferi. I want fodder for speaker, so we're just going to go Sprawl on... Actually, I guess maybe the Talisman would have been a safer bet. Regardless, we'll go green. Go to combat. Swing at you for 5, down to 2. Lethal's on board. End step. Fetch down to 1, meaning that any future fetches are dead. Surveil. So next turn we can Speaker Devour. Or we can Speaker Sire. Sire is actually probably the better choice just because we would then have they would have pseudo hexproof. So this looks like Esper Blink. So in that case, we're gonna bring in Unholy Heat, drop the K return. Since it's Esper, not Jeskai, we can drop the Bajuka Bog. Yes, Bog does have some utility into Overlord, but I think it's still correct to drop Bog here. At the same time, I guess we are dropping a Rumble, so we could keep the Bog, but is the Bog better than a Rumble here? Maybe not. We could bring in Vexing Bauble, does blank Ephem Rebound plus Solitude, Evoke. Dismember's kind of mid. I guess it does hit Felia and Overlord. The problem is it does not clear Riddler. And Riddler's the bigger problem, that's why I bring in the Heats. We could drop 6 here, drop the return for Dismember. That might be correct. Yeah, let's run it back like this. Also, K-Return is technically better into this matchup. Oof, that hand's god-awful, though. That is a Snap Mulligan. They do choose to play first. What say you, opponent? Do you keep your opening 7? They choose to mulligan on a 6. I'll join you. This hand is much better. I'm thinking about pitching the Sanctum. I'll keep. Pitch the Sanctum. That way, there's a chance we play the K command X2 on 2 if we find another 7 of value spell. We'll pass. And also Temple. So we have 10, 14 hits roughly. We'll draw Catacombs. In that case, I think I'm going to go Catacombs pass. That way we can hold up the heat. Floodstrand, fetch 19, surveil. Because this also lets us surveil on our end step. And doesn't put Emrakul into danger in case of a White Orchid Phantom. Marsh Flats. So this feels like Felia. I'll fetch. And surveil. Talisman. We can put that on top. We'll draw. Do we want to imprint Emrakul? Here's the question. We don't need to. And if they were to consign the Talisman, they can't play the Felia, so I don't need the heat. So we're going to go Lab. No imprint. Cast Talisman, so we can hold up heat. And pass. Show me the Felia. Fetch 18. Plains. Felia. In response, we heat and pass. Felia down and pass. So now we can imprint Emrakul if we want. Not necessary. There's the Overlord. Picks up the Felia. Mills over Consign, which is nice. There's Flicker Wisp. I might go Flicker Wisp as it doesn't require them to attack. What say you, opponent? Grab the Flicker Wisp, sure enough. Do you have your land for turn? You do. That's not a blue source and it's tapped. So we could K command. We'll draw. Thinking. I'm half tempted to imprint Emrakul K command X equals 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 3 short Emrakul. Also could K command X equals 2. That might be the right call. There's no reason for us to accelerate right now, and I still don't know if they're playing White Orchid Phantom. So, yes, let's K command now so we can play around a consign. And done. X equals 2. They have the Flicker Wisp, not much I can do about that. Myco Spawn, Forest. I mean, this presents more acceleration for Emrakul, so I think we do work with that. So again, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I guess Forest would be 13. I guess we'll go top, draw, and pass. Next turn we can kick a Myco Spawn. And did I set out Bajuka Bog? I did. And here comes the Flicker Wisp. Yep. Flicker the Overlord. What do you mill? Flicker Wisp will resolve. Overlord will trigger. Damping Sphere, you say? But it's a creature, so you pick up Quantum Riddler. You pick up Felia. Okay, I see where you're going for with this. Sure. You missed your land drop, though. So in that case, Forest, Myco Kick. So I'm going to take out your blue source to cut off Consign. And I will grab Temple or Ghost Quarter. So again, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We are still short one, actually. If they attack, we can block with MTGO, adding 1 to Yard, which will then allow us to Emrakul. And you missed your land drop. Did you find it off the top? Attacking for 8. We will block. Overlord trigger. Hits another Damping Sphere. We'll pick up the Quantum Riddler as that's their only choice. So they have Felia Riddler in hand, but no blue. We'll block the Overlord and take 3 down to 15. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Emrakul's primed. Go to end step and draw. Windswept Heath. I don't really want to fetch Shock right now, so we're going to lab. No imprint. Emrakul, our turn, comrade. So Felia Riddler in hand. They missed the land drop. Do you have a Solitude? Would be unfortunate if you do, but not the end of the world as we gain 13. And then we can pick up that Solitude with Overlord and then evoke it again. Yep. So Witch Enchanter out, Emrakul out. And we will go to our turn, comrade. Fatal Push, Felia, Consign. Ooh. There's some fun things we can do here, friend. Flicker Wisp as well. So, how do we want to go about this? We're going to Overlord attack, pick up Solitude, pitch Felia. Yeah, pitch Felia to Solitude, and exile Overlord. So go to main. Let's go to attacks. Attack with Overlord. Trigger. Pick up Solitude. Why is it not working? Return a non-avatar creature. What is happening? Okay, I think it's selected. It's not very clear whether or not it's selected right now, and I hate that. There's a Solitude, thank you. Pitch the Felia. Solitude. Solitude target Overlord. And nothing else we can do this turn, so we'll pass after that. And pass. Yeah, like it was highlighted in white, not in like green. It just wasn't very clear. They did find the land. So they do have a blue source for Consign now. Or they could Riddler. Looks like they're going to fetch now. Imagine for a blue source, but now they put themselves in potential harm's way of this Myco spawn. Or they tap this down. Riddler, draw 1. They didn't have an EFEM, so unless they drew it off the Riddler, this Riddler will not stick on board. They found the EFEM, geez. That was a pretty good hit. So now Riddler's online. We'll take out the blue source. Riddler Warp. And we'll draw. Forest. We will kick Myco Spawn. And exile the Hollowed Fountain. I mean, we do have Shifting Woodland for the Myco Spawn in Yard. I'm not entirely certain that would make the most sense here. We could go another temple. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Could go Sanctum of Ugin. Sanctum actually might be the right choice here. We'll go Sanctum. Windswept Teeth and pass. This way we draw into a 7 value spell. We then get another one off of it. So I'm trying to remember the cards in hand. Push, Emperor Bones, Consign, Flicker Wisp. And I want to say that's about it. We'll take 7 in the air. That is fine. End step, we'll fetch. Stomping Ground tapped. Now if we can find a threat, that would be amazing. Speaker does find me a threat. That's the nice thing about Speaker. It is always a good top deck. And that's why I always like to keep a card in hand. Speaker Pitch. So we have Ice 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not enough for Emrakul, but it is enough for Sire 7 or Devour. I like Devour as it gets rid of Riddler. So I think we're going to go Devour. And then we can prime Emrakul next turn with Sanctum. Sanctum trigger, exile Riddler. You have another E-Fem for the Riddler. You do. Or not. I'll say yes to Sanctum. Again, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So Emrakul's online again. And let's go to combat and swing for 3. 17 Hall. And pass. Let's say you, opponent. We know you have Consign in hand. We know you have... Looks like nothing else. Flicker Wisp attacks. We'll draw for middle speaker number 2, which means we have another follow-up after this turn. We should attack first. So again, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So you don't need a speaker untap. Let's attack all. Down to 6. Now we have Emrakul. Again, our turn, comrade. And opponent scoops it up. We'll take the win. Solid. We'll be back for match 4. Alright, and we're back for match number 4 on the draw for game 1. Opponent reveals Devour. Let's see what flavor of Eldrazi this is. Looks like Tron, which means being on the draw is a pretty significant downside here, especially if they have a turn 2 Karn. Not liking the look of that, friends. Turn 2 Karn would be pretty unfortunate for me. We'll go Commercial District. Second Temple top and pass. And pass. You have the Karn on 2. Tower. Three. Trinisphere is fine. It does actually stop me from playing my Rumble or my Talisman, though. We'll play the Temple and we'll pass. And we'll pass. The question now becomes whether or not we want to play the Mycospawn. Fleshraker's fine. We also could play the Speaker. We'll draw. So I am tempted here to play Speaker Pitch Talisman. So I think the casting window of Talisman has come and gone. And go... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 minus 3 would be 2. Because my thought process here is we could go Speaker, pick up Ice Till. The other option here is to go Myco Spawn and hit Lab while it's tapped. That means they would only have 4 mana next turn and only be able to play 1 card. I think that might be the better play, and Speaker can always find another Myco Spawn or an Ice Till. So let's go for that, I think. Temple, cast Myco, yield all. We're going to go Ghost Quarter. And Ghost Quarter target lab and pass. Again, next turn we can cast the Speaker and pick up an Ice Still or a Myco Spawn. We'll pass. End step, casting K command X1 or Dismember. Dismember. That's fine. 1 card in hand will pass in full. Tower. Mind Stone. Mana neutral. You could draw a card, but I'm not sure if that'd be the right time to do so. Probably do it on end step, I'd imagine. I will draw Forest. So in that case, I'm thinking we're going to go Speaker. Speaker pitch Talisman, because again, Talisman's casting window has come and gone. And I think we pick up Ice Till Explorer. And we pass. Next turn we can Ice Till, and we can Ghost Quarter them twice. They'll crack, draw, and pass. They do have... Nope, the Devour's gone. That's right. 2 cards in hand and 6 mana. So they have 2 casts. Flesh Raker. 15. Pain cost. Thought Not Seer will take the Ice Still. That is unfortunate. We'll also take a decent amount of damage here because of the Flesh Rakers, jeez. They do start to add up pretty quickly. Down to 9. They can't attack, though. Speaker's body's a bit too big. We'll draw. K return is actually very nice. How much mana do I have right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 minus 1, so we can cast both. I guess actually 5 minus 2, because Rumble's a minus 2 here. So if we go Forest and Rumble, the Jugabog's not doing much. We'll grab the Lab. That K return would have been nice. The question now becomes, do I cast this K return now or after they attack? I kind of want to block the TKS and then K return. I will pass, hold up the K return. If they cast something, and then we can always get rid of the Flesh Rakers. I need whatever to be in hand to be a dud. Perfect. Combat. Of course, as a K command, we just are SOL. We go to blocks. We block. Pain cost 4. Draw. In that case, do we fire off now? Yes, we'll fire off now. And pass. They have the K command. They do not. Perfect. We'll draw a fresh card. Utopia Sprawl, bit of a dud, that's fine. And we'll draw. Lab. If I could stop drawing into duds, that would be really nice. We will cast the Devourer now that it won't hit one of my own cards. No, actually, let's do this. We'll play the Lab, no Imprint, and Devour. K-Return, Devour, Yield All, and no. Oh, I guess I can't play the Sprawl, right? Because Trinisphere taxing me. We'll pass. I should play the Stomping Ground tapped. They're passing. We'll draw. Myco Spawn's perfect. Then let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8, 3. Yes, we can do this. Green. And kick. Myco Spawn, kick the power plant, yield all. And Ice Till's in Yard, or is it exiled? It was exiled. Speakers in Yard. Nothing I want to target right now with shifting. Though we could actually do something fun, shifting a Ghost Corridor and Ghost Corridor land. I think I will grab the shifting after all. We'll go Stomping Ground tapped. Go to combat, swing for 6. Because we have lethal on board now, since I can make a copy of Myco Spawn, and currently we have 12 or 9 damage, so that'll be 12 exactly for lethal. And if need be, we can always Ghost Quarter, but we're good. We got there. Well, it was a close one. All right. So we're gonna bring in Heat, Flute, dump the K-Return, the Jukabog, a Rumble, and 6, and run it back. Yeah, we did get a bit lucky there, to say the least. Those Flesh Rakers could have easily killed me. We on the draw for game 2, I'd imagine. I mean, this is another early speaker. Yes, we will keep this. I guess it doesn't matter if we go put it on a forest or not, so I guess we can go Stomping Ground Sprawl and keep the Verdant Cat for Surveil. We'll keep. The Ghost Quarter in hand's also very nice. There's a thought to grab Ice Till instead of Myco Spawn then with the speaker. We'll pitch Talisman to speaker. We'll pass. Urza Tower. Okay. We'll draw. Heat. Stomping Ground Shock. Sprawl for green. And pass. If in instance they present the possibility of Tron on 3, we'll probably place Talisman, Ghost Quarter, and Ghost Quarter land. Waste. No Tron on 3. Paying cost for a Mind Stone. Indeed. Could be a Karn in that case. We'll draw. There's a Myco Spawn. That was probably like the best thing we could have drawn off top there. Jesus. So we're going to go Temple. We're going to cast Speaker. Again, this Talisman's casting window is left. So we're going to pitch Talisman. Or rather, yes, we're going to pitch Talisman or Ghost Quarter. Talisman, yeah. For Ice Till. And we're going to pass. They're not going to like what they're going to see regardless, because we have Myco Spawn kick next turn. Okay, we don't have Myco Spawn kicked anymore, but we do have Ice Till. We have a land and a TKS. Flute. Flute naming what? Myco Spawn? Ice Till. Rude. They missed their land drop. That's notable. Temple. Well, that was the best top deck. We're going to hit Urza Tower. Ice Till costs 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 3 short Emrakul. Tempted to grab Commercial District. Yeah, let's do that. Wooded Foothill. And that way we have the option of Heat next turn. And holding. They missed their land drop. A bit of a strange hand for them to keep based on what I'm seeing though. Like no promise of Tron, not much in the way of acceleration. So yeah, a little bit of a weird hand in my opinion. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So no reason to reveal the Ghost Quarter yet. We'll hold up the Flute. And we'll attack with Myco. So now if they are somehow able to accelerate into Karn, we can Flute. Pain cost for Mind Stone. That's fine. And on end step, I will fetch. Stomping Ground tapped. And draw. K command. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm not even sure I need to go for the Ice Still Ghost Quarter loops if I'm being honest, but we can. We would play Ghost Quarter our own land, and then Ice Still. Alternatively, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, it'd be the same math for the K command. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We could also just dig 6 and try and find Breaker or... Yeah, you know what? Let's do that. I'm gonna ramp, I'm gonna scry draw. Leave up a green-red source. And done. X equals 5, looking for Myco Spawn or Breaker. We find neither, we bottom all. Draw, forest. So I guess in that case, we can play the forest, cast the Ice Till. It is an Ice Till. Play a Ghost Quarter, mill. You have no reason to Ghost Quarter right now, but if we'll scoop it up, we'll take the win. Solid. We'll be back for match number 5. Alright, and we're back for match 5 on the draw for game 1. Underground Mort Surveil, could be Yawgmoth. Burning Catacomb doesn't give us much information. We'll draw. K return. We're going to imprint Sire, cast Talisman, and pass. And pass. We have K return primed. We're angling towards Ugin. Paying cost 4, Beseiju, Rude. We'll Surveil. Ghost Quarter to Yard. And draw. Formidable Speaker. So I will play Shifting Wood. Formidable Speaker. I'm going to pitch the Stomping Ground and pick up Ice Till. Again, we're angling toward this Ugin. Verdant Catacomb, fetch 19 for. Still feels like Yawgmoth if I had to guess. Swamp, okay. Paying cost 4. Speaker. A speaker of your own, you say. Pick up Yawgmoth. Pitches Ballista, yep. Definitely looking like Yawg. How many basics does Yawg play right now? Let's take a look at that, actually. I want to say at least 3. Neobrand, where's Yawg? There's Yawg. Roughly 3 basics, yeah. So, I mean, we could try for the Ghost Quarter loop. Because right now they already have 2 basics here. So if we go for Ice till the Ghost Quarter, we could take out their second source, and most often they only run 1 black source. Endurance. I guess you can Endurance me now. Draw. Breaker. Forest. Ice till. Do you Endurance? I mean, if you do, then sure. Endurance, pitching Yawgmoth. I feel like this hurts your game plan more than it hurts mine, though. I mean, it does stop me from ramping in this Ugin, which is unfortunate, but not the end of the world. We'll pass. And pass. Rumble. Do you grab a land for turn? Chooses Badgermole Cub. Verdant Cat. We can do a fun thing with K-Return next turn. Forest. Isa Cub. I guess you do have 2 3 mana right now. Cub, Halfling, empty-handed. Oh, that was such a bad idea, opponent. We'll draw. Another K return. Tempted to attack into the Speaker to see if they block with Speaker. Just so I can clear their board of shenanigans. That'd not be a half bad idea. Do I care to do so, though? No, I think we go to Upkeep. Let's go to Upkeep. And then we will K return. And pass. This way, Underground Mort will be tapped. Yes, they'll get the Surveil, but that's fine. Guard to Yard. And fresh draw. What this? Dredger's Insight. There is Aggie Soul Cauldron, Badgermole Cub. I imagine you grab the Badgermole at this point, question mark. Picks up the Orboroid. How big's Orboroid again? We'll draw. There we go. I will Rumble. There's Temple Myco. We're going to grab Temple. Actually, I guess we can grab Myco. Opponent scoops it up, though, yeah, because we grab Myco. We played 2 lands. Yeah, we're good. Yep, because we grab the Myco. We play the Temple Forest. We untap the Temple. With the Speaker, we kick. And then we set up for Ugin Breaker the following turn. Good stuff. So, seems like Yawg, but a little bit weird to see the Orboroid. A little bit weird to see it. Yeah, so I'm not sure if this might be just like an Orboroid list, potentially. Regardless, the K return seems decent. The heat seems decent. Bog is good, given the Aggie Soul Cauldron. Looks like most Yawg lists are running Orboroid now. That makes sense, especially if Speaker can grab it. It's cute. I like it. So in that case, we still want our Grave Hate. I don't think Flute's where we're at. 6, no. They could be on Fulminator Mage, which makes me hesitant to cut the Ice Till. We'll trim the Rumble. I think we can drop the Ghost Quarter. Trim an Emrakul. Because I really want to cut the Ice Tails, but the fact that I don't know if they're on Fulminator Mage makes me hesitant. So I think we should probably keep the Ice Tails. And do what else, though? It is a bit of a non-bow, of course, of Jailer, but that's fine. Maybe drop... No, you know what? We're dropping the Ice Tails. Screw it. I'm going to do this. Until we see Fulminator Mage, I think trimming the Ice Tails are fine. This is a good keep. Make this work. We'll keep. Reveal. We'll pass. We'll have some removal in the way of K command or K return, though. Overgrown Tomb, Shock 17 for Halflane. Trigger. And there's the heat. So we're going to bolt the bird, fetch shock, and halflane out and pass. And pass. Two, Cub. There's Cub. We'll draw Lab. No reason to play Lab here. No reason to play the... no reason to play the Lab here. Probably should play the Temple. And we'll pass. Next we can play the Myco spawn and ramp into the Devourer. 2 Thoughtseize takes the Myco spawn then. And that would be my guess. Yep, makes sense. 1 mana left over, 2 mana in total, 4 in hand. Do you miss your land drop, potentially? They do find a Boseiju, they go Endurance. Really? So they're going for the aggro plan. Interesting. I don't think this is the right move. We'll draw. Temple. No reason to reveal the Temple, but no reason to play anything else. So we're just going to play the Temple. And now we just hope that we find a Temple or a 7 of Ice spell so I can cast the Devourer next turn, would be the thought. We'll take 5. They're holding up the Overgrown Tomb, though. Why? Casting something. Thoughtseize. Yep. We'll pass in full. Unfortunate. So Devour out. Dryad Arbor. I would love a K command or K return here. We'll draw. Devour. There actually is a reason to play the Lab, imprint the Devour, because then we insulate it from a potential third Thoughtseize, I suppose. So Lab, imprint Devour, and pass. We are pretty low on life, though. We're going to take, what, 5, potentially 7 down to 3. Not thrilled about that prospect, but we can get rid of Endurance or Dryad Arbor or Badgermole Cub. Honestly, the Cub's probably the right choice in the grand scheme. No, I guess if we're at 3, it depends. If we're at 3, we might have to take out... No, I guess we're fine as is. Yeah. Down to 5. Okay. We have a decent amount of mana now. Want this? GSE? Ballista for 3. Yee. That is a problem. And one that Devour doesn't necessarily solve. Because we can Devour Exile Endurance, block the Ballista, take 3 down to 2, die to Badgermole Cub. Not to mention a Badgermole Cub can pump another 2 for lethal, so neither Cub nor Ballista can remain. So it then raises the question, Sire 7 Death doesn't save me either. I think a K command might be my only chance here. Yeah? I think so, because Sire doesn't do it. Devour doesn't do it. Alright, well, let's just draw then. What do we find off top? Those 2 Thought Seizes are pretty harmful, actually. Got off my acceleration and my castables. Breaker. Breaker still does not do it because we can exile the Ballista or, you know, target it. They hit me down to 2, then we lose. So, yep, we'll concede. Not much we can do about that. I was questioning the beatdown plan, but it worked out in their favor. All right, let's run it back like this. We didn't see Fulminator Mage. I'm still pretty confident about the Ice still. Yeah, unfortunately we stumbled there because of the Thought Seizes. Had they not had those, we would have been able to accelerate into an early Devour and start attacking them. Because once our creatures hit board, it's pretty difficult for them to deal with them outside of Yawg. On the play for game 3. We find a land, the hand's not bad is the problem. We have how many lands? 24 minus 2, 22, 21. But if we don't find a land, it's kind of no. I guess we do have the Sprawl to count as our land for turn. Sure. We'll make it work. Not what I want to do. I really wish you could lock the UI so that way you couldn't accidentally do that. One goes down to 6. So yeah, what did Foothill Sprawl for red? That way if you're onto a land, we can K-return a Mana Dork if we want. Otherwise we can Speaker. We'll fetch. For a forest. Sprawl. For red. And pass. And pass. Burning Cat. Fetch 19 for Overrun Tomb. Shock 17. And GSC for 0? Yep. So Dryad Art. Opponent just goes, oops. Was the Dryad Arbor in your hand? No, they misclicked. RIP. Hashtag MTGO moment. Well, that's unfortunate. Draw. Heat. So in that case, we'll Sprawl. I mean, we would have been able to get rid of the Dryad Arbor regardless, I suppose, so... But we still have the heat in hand as a result. We'll go another green. And pass. And pass. Probably going to dump this Emrakul if we play a Speaker next turn. The Emrakul's not doing much here. Might want to pick up... I guess we trimmed out the Ice still, so no such luck. Thoughtseize? No. Badgermole Cub? Rumble. Murderous Cutout, Thoughtseize out. There's Halfling Speaker. What do you choose? Chooses Halfling. Okay. We'll draw. Grafdigger Cage. So Cage is good to stop the Yawg shenanigans. They can play Yawg next turn. So my thought process here is twofold. We could speaker pitch Emrakul and pick up Ice Till. I kind of like that plan. Yes, let's do that. So speaker, pitch Emrakul, pick up Ice Till. Actually, not Ice Till, that's right, Mycospawn. We'll pick up the Mycospawn. And pass. And pass. Land for turn. They do have the Yawg mana. But they shouldn't be able to go off of Yawg is the biggest thing. Okay. Well, they're overcommitting the board, which is good for us. We draw. Breaker. If I could find a land, that'd be really awesome about now. So we have how much mana? 1, 2, 3, and it's a +2, 4, 5. Yes. So 3. Untap green. Tap. We're going to hold red. Cast. No kick. Yep, we're going to lab return exactly. Lab. Imprint breaker or sire? I'm thinking breaker. And then return and pass. And Bone scoops it up. We got the win. Solid. Alrighty. Well, a pretty good 4-1 record at the end of 5 with Eldrazi Ramp. Only loss being to Song Creation combo, which, as I was saying during that matchup, I think that might be a matchup, or rather a deck to kind of keep an eye out for. With the fact that Boomerang Basics does give them repeal numbers 5 through 8, it is, I think it does have more legs than people might give it credit for. So while it is right now 0.1% of the meta, I think if someone does bring it to the forefront and refines the list, Song Creation might be the next Grinding Breach, and that is concerning to me. Because guess what that would mean, folks? We'd have to play Karn the Great Creator again, and I would not be thrilled by that prospect. I mean, I love Karn, don't get me wrong. I just don't like the prospect of having to deal with another Grinding Breach meta-esque deck. But regardless, we'll cross that bridge. But I think Song Creation definitely is a deck that should warrant some future investigating and just kind of keeping an eye on its progression in the meta. Regardless, with that being said, that there will be the end of tonight's YouTube video. As always, if you did enjoy it, please consider hitting the like button, comment down below if you did see the lines that I missed, any mistakes that I made, or any general feedback, be much appreciated. For as much that I hope y'all learn from me in both my success and failure, I hope I can learn from you all as well. Last but not least, if you're enjoying the video and haven't already, please do consider hitting the subscribe button as we continue to grow this channel. However, if you would like to watch these videos recorded live over on Twitch, you can find me there Sundays through Thursdays at 10 p.m. CST and Fridays and Saturdays at 8 p.m. CST for the weekend challenges. Otherwise, you can head over to my Patreon where you can find these videos ad-free and early. With that being said though, folks, I will see you next time. Bye-bye!